Okay, I have a joke for you.
That's okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So this guy walks into a bar, and there are these stakes tied to the ceiling.
Naturally.
Naturally. So he goes up to the bartender and asks him, why are there stakes tied to the ceiling? The bartender says they have this deal going on. If you jump up and hit the stakes, you get free drinks for the night. But if you jump up and miss, you have to pay everyone's tab for the night. So the guy thinks about it for a second, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Bartender says, why not? Why won't you do it? You know what the guy says?
Something witty, I would assume.
He says, the stakes are too high.
Oh my god.
I know.
That was bad.
How bad?
I would say on par with getting shot in the knee.
Jesus. Brutality of the truth.
Is this how you get the ladies?
With jokes? Yeah. Especially those pertaining to grilled meats.
Well, it won't work for me.
Louise,
John?
I promise you, by the end of this, you'll be asking me for a second date.
Is that right? Did you know that in ancient Japan, if you broke a pinky promise, they would chop off your pinky finger?
Well, I plan on keeping all 10 fingers, thank you very much.
For those of you wondering, John and Louise met at a Straddle the Man concert 3 blocks from where they sit now. John said, "Hi, I like your Foo Fighters shirt," to which Louise replied, "My Foo Fighters shirt tolerates you at best." He asked her for her number, and she asked him on a date. Hello, I'm Wesley Holmes of WWAY News on Channel 3. You may remember me from my reporting on the infamous crocodile of the Jamestown Golf Course, or perhaps from my work with the Sunny Haven Retirement Home fiasco of 2011. But, for those of you who don't know me, thank you for joining us tonight. Now, before I go any further, I should tell you this. John and Louise do not end up together. In fact, they get into their first fight by their 4th date and threaten to break up by their 7th. By the end of it all, they will have spent 3 years, 6 months, and 9 days together, and the rest of their lives apart. Not to say that this story doesn't have a happy ending. They just don't have a happy ending together. But that's not how things are right now. Right now, John asks Louise if she likes poetry, and Louise responds,
No.
No?
No, I mean, no offense, because I'm sure your stuff is great.
It's not.
But I personally am not a fan.
Why?
I will give you 3 reasons.
And I will refute them all.
1. Tedious. If the poet wants to say something, then they should just say it, not hide it behind a bunch of nonsensical phrases like, I don't know, the dawnless night.
Some things you just can't say. You have to experience.
2, when I read poetry...
A man and a woman sit near each other.
Are you actually quoting a poem right now?
I'm refuting your second point. Now, if you would please. A man and a woman sit near each other and do not long in this moment to be older or younger or born in any other nation or any other time or any other place. They are content to be where they are, talking or not talking. Their breasts together feed someone whom we do not know. Poetry is not supposed to be read. It's supposed to be spoken. You feel it more that way.
Did you write that?
Would you believe me if I said yes?
Probably not.
It's by a man named Killian Bly.
Well, I think that's a poem I actually like.
That is a lie. Well, not her liking the poem. That part is actually true. She does lie about other poems, though. John's poems. For their first anniversary, John writes her a poem that, in his opinion, is the equivalent of ripping out his still-beating heart and plopping it down on a pristine piece of 8 by 11-inch paper. She does not see it in this way. She is instead confused by his extensive use of symbolism. Now, objectively, John is not a very good poet. However, When she reads his poem, she tells him it is the most beautiful thing she has ever read. That lie, in particular, is the 31st of the total 341 lies in their relationship. Robert Fly. That's the lie. John had forgotten the poet's first name, so he made up Killian Fly, even though the poet's real name is Robert.
Definitely a twin.
Nope. Guess again.
9 older brothers and 4 younger sisters.
If only, then we could be like the Von Trapp family.
If only. You are the middle child of 3 girls.
No.
Damn. I got it. This is a trick question, and you are actually raised by a pack of wolves.
Close. The answer is that I have one younger sister.
This is my next guess. Do you like her?
Do I like her?
Yeah, do you like her? Not as like your sister, but as a person?
Everyone likes Cecilia. She's one of those girls that is pretty, but not aggressively so. And she's kind. You know, she volunteers at animal shelters. She's going to community college to be a nurse. I love her.
She sounds like a good person.
She is. But sometimes I just want to shake it out of her, you know? She's very punctual, very perfectionist. And everyone always loves Cecilia.
Yeah, I'm kind of the black sheep, too.
I didn't say that.
I haven't talked to them in a while. My family. I'm just trying to focus on my writing, you know, and they're out there in, Louisiana. My dad's a fisherman. His boat is named the Friendship.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. Yeah, he is pretty clever. I haven't talked to him in months. Actually, it's his birthday coming up.
His birthday was not coming up. His father's birthday had actually been 2 months prior. It was his 60th. For someone who regards himself as a fairly considerate person, John is not very considerate at all. He is the kind of person whose ambitions tend to cloud out any other relatively important information. For example, John forgets Louise's birthday. An understandable mistake, as they had only been dating for a month and a half at the time. What is less understandable, perhaps, is the following year, when John forgets Louise's birthday again. This leads to the kind of fight that isn't about just one incident, but about a conglomerate of incidents. The kind of fight where things are brought up that you didn't even know you did, as if your partner has been storing up an artillery for this exact moment. But the following day, John surprises her with a Dave Eggers novel, autographed by the author himself. And though she is not one to do so easily, Louise forgives him. So, perhaps John isn't really that inconsiderate after all.
Why don't you like swings? I don't know. They're so fun.
I did not tell you I was afraid of heights so that we could have some sort of emotional breakthrough here, okay?
It's called exposure.
No, exposure is when you're left to the elements to die, which is exactly what we're doing here.
All you have to do is swing as high as you can and jump off. Kids do it all the time.
Yeah, kids are notoriously stupid.
Yes, but sometimes they know what they're doing. Once I met this, 10-year-old who knew the first 100 digits of pi.
3.1415926.
I get it, you're smart.
35897 cherry apple pecan 93238.
And full of horrendous jokes.
Smart and full of horrendous jokes. You should write that on my grave when I croak.
Well, don't die now, the cops will think I did it.
Good point. I'll wait till later.
That is much appreciated.
I mean, you could always just lie and say I was kidnapped.
I don't think I could do that. I'm not a very good liar.
The fact that Louise can convincingly say that she is not a very good liar makes her a very good liar indeed. Of the aforementioned 341 major lies in their relationship, Louise alone accounts for 312 of them. Now, in one particular incident, Louise tells John she's going to the movies with a friend, when she's really meeting an ex-boyfriend at a bar. Now, this is the truth. Nothing happened between them besides an impulsive no-tongue kiss on the mouth, largely induced by alcohol. But this is a moment that carries through the coming weeks, when John forgets an anniversary or a date, and instead remains holed up in his room working on mediocre poetry. And Louise tells him where she was that night she kissed her ex. This fight occurred on their last day, 3 years, 6 months, and 9 days after this very date.
A movie, maybe. Or a candlelit dinner on a private sail.
I'm lost.
Our second date, obviously.
Is there a question in there somewhere?
May I take you on a second date?
Hold out your pinky.
Of the 3 years, 6 months, and 9 days that Louise and John are together, they will be in love for approximately 3 years and 1 month. They both go on to find other significant others. Louise meets hers at a dry cleaner's in Virginia, and John meets his at a New Year's Eve party in San Francisco. But for this moment, they are happy. And I suppose I should tell you that, eventually, they are happy after their relationship, too. So who is to say this isn't a happy story?